You guys.
Sorry, guys.
Hi, welcome. Hi, welcome. So you guys are now on we call ourselves the Boss Girl Fizz, and we are Team Bliss within that. Why? Because Leanne and I partner together to do BP and do training. So anyone that's signed to her team, anyone that's signed to my team, we all do trainings together. Okay. Now this is going to be a basic foundational training. We have kind of an agenda. We're going to start from the foundations all the way to what you should do when you first start, just so you guys can get a feel of what to do. You just joined, you're not sure how do I move forward, right? Okay, so go ahead, Lee, and she has the agenda, so she's gonna start. Go ahead, Lee.
All right, guys. Let me see if I can get the slide stuff to work. There we go. Okay. Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So all the different resources. There's thousands and thousands of home business resources, but here are the bomb party ones that we want you guys to make sure that you're aware of. We do have the official Facebook group for Bomb Party, and there is a fast start group for Bomb Party. If you need the link to either of these two groups, we've got it in the group, and I'm going to post it in the chat in just a second. Maybe Moni can get it in the chat. We'll put it in the chat. If you're not in one of these groups, just know that they only approve to let you guys in. It's like 1 day a week that one of the home office team customer service reps sits down and they go through and they do the approvals. There is a form when you click to join the group. It's going to ask like your name, your rep ID number. So make sure you have that in there. If there's no information in there, they're automatically going to decline you. Thank you, Moni. So just make sure you have that in there. From a phone, sometimes it's like super easy. It's just the way it is with Facebook and phones that it completely misses that there's a little form to fill out. So just keep that in the back of your mind that there is supposed to be a form there, especially if you're doing it on your phone. And then at the flip side, it does take about a week or so to get let into those groups. And the Fast Start group is great because you're going to get with our corporate trainer. She does trainings. I think it's like twice a month. Is it twice a month, Moni, that they come in and
Yeah,
do
and
the
they just
specific
started.
trainings?
Yeah, and on
Yes.
the BP Active Facebook group, they just started doing a social marketing training. So that is also available that you can register, and they started it last week, I believe.
Yes. So they have the social media training. They have that with a outside trainer. And then we have the Friday Fizz, which is with our BP corporate trainers, because we have trainers within BP and the customer service team who specifically work with just certain groups of ranks. So like all of Topaz works with one corporate trainer, and you'll get to meet her when you are in that Fast Start group. And then same with Parados and Tanzanites and then Ruby and above. So it's really nice that we actually have someone to go to within BP. And all of that contact information is going to be within those two groups. So you guys are Team Bliss. So I don't know, Moni, have we already sent them the link to get into the Facebook group, the team one?
Yeah, they do have it. I'll put that in the chat too. I just put the Fast Start
Okay.
in the chat right now, and I will do our team one right now.
Okay, I'm going to show you something that is unique to our team page. Let me get our team page up because Moni and I have been working really hard on this with the group. Okay.
I also just put up when it says the mentor group with me and Lee, that's a separate group that just me and Lee run together. Right now it says mentored by Moni, but it's a group that Lee and I do
wasn't what I was
together.
talking about, that group, Moni. I was talking about this group.
Okay, got it.
This one's one. Okay, so can you guys see the Facebook group on here on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just can't see what you guys see. Okay. Hey, Mary. Okay. So within the Team Bliss Gem Squad group, something that's really cool that Moni and I have been working on is, I mean, you could go through here and then now at this point, there's years of information in there. So even in the Bomb Party official group, you can search back to, but I want to make note of kind of what we've done. You can click the search button and search things. All right, you can do that. But something cool that we have done is if you click on media, right now I've been posting a lot, so there's going to be a lot in here. But if you scroll through, like you can see in the top left corner, it says training with Gina. So that's that training with Gina. It's easy to find it versus just scrolling through going, I know Moni posted that recording. And then you can see all of these ones, they're branded kind of the same with those diamonds and that kind of the beigey peach and the purple. Those are all have information within them. So you can see like team TikTok page reservations. That's for our Boss Girl page, team website information, how to brand your business. That was a training we did. Goal sheet templates. So that's another way that you can
Can you let
find
Haley in,
information.
Ellie?
Oh, yeah, I see him now. Okay. And then so we have it under photos and then the same thing under albums. So the same thing is under albums. You can search that way. And what'll happen is within some of these video, like this, some of these trainings, they are actually videos, but we've linked to them. So it makes it nice. So like, let me just click on one to show you guys. So like,
And
how
if you're
to,
if you're here from either Gina's team or Megan's team, welcome in. I know that both Gina and Megan also have their own team pages that I'm sure they have resources in the graphics just like we do. So go and check out
Mhm.
your team's page, and I'm sure you'll find
Right.
similar things.
And the other two groups, they might have it too, but within the guides section, there's information as well. So the team pages that we have a plethora of information. You just have to go digging for it. So just know that there's a lot of wealth and information within the team pages themselves. All right, so let me get out of that. So
You
that's
may
the
have to
team page.
mute everybody. Lee, you may have to mute everybody, and then people can unmute themselves when they want to talk, I think.
Okay. No, that might be my kids in the background that you guys hear.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Because it's probably my kids. All right, I'm gonna mute y'all, but it's probably my kids in the background that you guys hear. And then of course, if you haven't started already, Bomb Party University is a great place for information as well. That's going to be Bomb Party specific information, how to get started, walkthroughs of the back office are in there. Although we're going to look at the back office a little bit today. But just know the Bomb Party University has it's great. And they've got worksheets and goal sheets and all kinds of stuff, even though we have some of that stuff too for our teams. But just know that's also another absolutely great place to look at information. And I will tell you, I've been doing Bomb Party now 3.5 years, and I still go back to the university when I know I need to pull information specifically on Bomb Party. So it's a great place to always go back and refer to.
Yeah, and just a quick reference. There is those of you who are on our team, you may have gotten the email that I sent you all the links. Within that, there is one link to an application that is specific to the Rise Tribe, where we use the boards. Our Diamond Leader uses an app that's called Boards, Boards. If you have not downloaded that, we highly recommend that you download that onto your phone, because Ashley, our Diamond Leader, uses that as a way to make sure that we see important stuff also just at a glance. If you just want things at a quick glance, it is a great resource. And I think Lee might pull it up on her phone to show you. I'm
going to show you guys. I love boards. And one, it's a good way to like quickly glance at things. But what boards was designed for was information you use over and over again, so you don't have to like keep typing it over and over again. So like say your like my rep ID number. I could not tell you what my rep ID number is, But like, for example, I'm going to pull up the boards app, but I have on there, so it adds a keyboard onto my phone. So I just type the little world button that goes to the keyboards, and it goes to the boards app, and I just click on Leanne's rep ID number and it populates it for me. I love it. It kind of makes you lazy, but that's one of those things that, like, all the information that you have to remember, website addresses, things like that. But I don't know if you, oh man, hold on. Let me turn off my background. All right, blur. Okay, unblur. And you probably still can't see it, but it's broken up into sections. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, guys. But to know it's ours, the Rise Tribe one, she's got like a little dancing girl, the dancing girl emoji, and it's Rise Tribe Empire. But it's like onboarding graphics, team replays, your first 90 days, fast start, different trainings and links, shipping your packages to ship.com, and just information about shipping, graphics. So, like, pictures of original rings. Maybe you're out with somebody and they're like, oh, I want to see a picture of a sample of a reveal of what could be. And then, like, these pictures are in there. You could use these in a post that you send to somebody. Kit graphics, mystery hostess is in here. Policies and procedures is also in here. That one, make sure, side note, that you know the policies and procedures. And so that's always posted. She's got it posted in here, but it's always in the back office, and it's in that Facebook group. But Boards app is great. Like I said, I have my own like little board with my rep ID number, my website address, because people are always like, what's your website address? And I hate texting. So if you are on Moni's team, you know that I do voice all the time because I hate the phone. But when I do it, half the time it's like cheat codes of just typing, oh, website, and then I just touch a button and it does my website address for me. I might have to do like a screenshot of my phone doing it, but I love the Boards app. So that's the Boards app. And then if all else fails, you're like digging through all of this stuff and you can't find it, your mentor, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys. If you're on Team Bliss, which is Moni's team, you guys have access to me as well. So Moni and I are not under each other. We're, I guess, side sisters, but we do everything together. And even if you're not on Moni's team or I's team, if for whatever reason you can't get a hold of Megan, Gina, or whoever your mentor is, feel free to reach out to Moni and I. We'll help point you in the right direction.
Yep. Thank you.
You want to add anything, Moni?
Just that we're never too busy for you. I know that it might seem at times that your leader is, super busy because we all have family things, right? Some of us have full-time jobs on top of BP. So I just want you to know that there's no such thing as too busy for you. At the end of the day, if you have some kind of concern, some kind of question, whatever it is that's going on, you can always, if last resort, message a voice message or a text message. Even if you're like, I don't want to call, then just know that you're not a bother. You're not, ruining anyone's day. Like, it's really important to keep that communication together with your direct sponsor, because that person is supposed to be there for you. That's our job, is to be there for you. And if for some reason you're unable to reach, you can reach out into our team chat in particular. You can put a message in there, and at some point I will see it, Lee will see it, one of us will see it, and you will be contacted and we can chat and get together. Just you're not alone. I think that's the main thing, is that you're not alone. And I know there's going to be times, because listen, I like to talk about yes, are there high ups? Of course, there's going to be ups, but there's also going to be times where you may feel a little bit down. And I know for me personally, when I feel down, that's where I tend to like shut in, and I tend to shut out everybody, because I just kind of don't want to make anybody go into that, bad place with me. But I want you to know that it's okay if you're having a hard time to just say, hey, you know, I'm having a hard time with blah, blah, blah. I'm having a hard time with XYZ. It's okay. And you're not alone in those hard times. We've all been there. But I will tell you that it will always get better. And part of that, we're going to go into our next, that kind of leads us into our next topic. Go right ahead, Lee.
Well, the next one is the fun one. It's everybody wants to know, how much money am I going to make? How much, like really? So what Moni and I have done is we made a breakdown of exactly what we make per item and what items, how much we make on them. So that's what this chart is showing. And just as you're going through your business, just keep in mind when you start thinking giveaways and coupons and your expenses, like this is how much we make per item. This is what it is right here. If you're on Moni and I's team, this is in our Facebook group. So you guys don't have to like screenshot it right now. And for anyone who's not and needs a copy of it, just let Moni and I know and we will sling that over to you. But you can see like on original reveals, we make 32.5%. And just a side note on why that is because way back in the day, ring bombs used to only cost $17.95 retail. And when Bomb Party upped it to $19.95, they didn't charge us anymore. So that's why that one's a little bit more. But everything else we make 25% besides kids rings, which we actually make 37.5% on. So kids rings, I don't know that a lot of like that seems to be one of those things that not a lot of people sell those rings, but I was like, you make the most off of those little bad boys. So here's what the chart is. Obviously for special collections, we couldn't tell you exactly because that just kind of varies on what they've decided to make the retail price for that item. But everything else, this is what it is. And as far as money goes,
And I will say just real quickly, for special collections, it does, I mean, on average, it's about $9 and what, 60 cents, $9.80,
almost
something
$10,
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, special collections are good. And so still talking about money, just know that you set your own shipping prices. So you need to look at how much your shipping supplies are and roughly how much shipping is from you. My shipping, I charge $6.75. I know that Moni charges more. What do you charge, Moni?
I charge $8.51, and I do that for a reason. Here's the thing. Our collection started getting heavier and heavier and heavier in the last 2 years. And I will mail out packages nowadays that are anywhere between 1 pound to 2 pounds. And that's because also my customer base has changed a little bit, where my customers tend to want value, and so I offer a bigger discount with the more that they buy. So they're buying, you know, at 4 rings or 4 items minimum. And then for those customers who just want to buy 1 or 2 items, I offer different discounts. So I have different discount rates between buying 1 item and buying 6 items. And having my shipping at $8.51 allows me to do that. I also charge that because I live in California. And so in California, most of my customers are on the East Coast, and the rate to ship is a lot more expensive for me versus those of you who already live in other parts of the country. If your customer base, because, you know, you have to remember Bomb Party started in Alabama. They didn't start in California. So most of the customers who are familiar with our brand are from the East Coast, right? They are from Mountain Standard Time, Central Standard Time, Eastern Standard Time. And so because of that, I had to figure out in my business along the way, how do I not go into the red? And if you don't charge enough for shipping, you could end up going into the red because you have to account for, like she said, your bubble mailer, your tape, your if you're going to use, thank you stickers, if you're going to have any kind of giveaways of any kind, and things like that. And just a quick caveat is giveaways are not a requirement. Okay. We will be touching base on Mystery Hostess rewards and how to use that as your gift away. But yeah, so I charge $8.51. But just so you guys know, for a little tidbit, Bomb Party, when you purchase from their website, they charge $7.99. So that is something to take into account. I personally, if you're to ask me, Moni, what should I charge, and you live on the East Coast, I would say if you charge anywhere between $6 to $7, you're very, very fair. You are on target, and you are within the realms of reasonable.
And I do, like, when we have the Luxes and we have stacks, I do raise my rates because they do get heavy. So, and just know that you can change your rate anytime you want, and you can also make it variable. Like if you say, if you spend $300 in an order, I'll give you free shipping. You can actually set that up when you set up your shipping. So that's just all things to think about. The sales tax on all orders, BP does take care of that. So you don't have to worry about going out and getting a resale license unless you wanted that. But BP will handle all of that tax. And then same thing for, like, if you do a personal order, what'll happen is when you do that personal order, that you don't get charged for the item, but you will get charged for that sales tax. And for example, I just gave myself a February ring today. And for me here in Florida, the tax, it was like $1.40. And that money, FYI, that'll come out of your e-wallet. And they do that like once a month. They'll pull all of that. And that goes for the same as if you do cash orders. So just know with cash orders that BP still takes that sales tax, and they'll deduct it from if you do a cash order, they'll deduct that sales tax from your e-wallet. So just keep that in mind if you do outside of BP sales.
Yeah, actually, Lee, can you notate that maybe we could do a training specifically on taking cash orders and how to do a personal order if you need
and
it.
How to do personal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So e-wallet, it's paid weekly. Like my stuff from all of this week, they just took it out today. And so it's going to hit my bank account tomorrow. So make sure, if you have not already, sync up your bank account with BP's system. And that way you can start getting that direct deposit weekly into your account. So that is from all of your sales. All of that money is going to get dumped into your account weekly. And if you have not started going live yet, keep that in mind for the first time you go live. I've seen lots of reps who go live for the very first time, say like on a Friday night. And they're like, oh, I don't have any money to ship anything. And so they're telling their customers, yes, you're buying this Friday, but I can't ship it, not this weekend, but after the following weekend when I get paid. So just think about that when you go live for the very first time anyway, once you get that cash flow going, that I'm just one of those people that I like to ship right away. Like I am within a day or two, like shipping's out. But I've seen that a lot of times with new reps, that it's like they have to wait like a little over a week to do shipping for that very first time. And so just kind of keep that in mind. If that's something you want to do, then it's your business. But just it's some things that people don't really even think about. We are getting a new website, so we don't know all the specifics yet, like if we're going to have to re-enter information coming. But what we do know is in the new website coming, our e-wallet, we will have, it's almost like a debit card that goes with it. And so we'll be able to use that like a credit card on websites and things. So I'm really excited about that. So that is coming. And then know that the back office fee that we pay monthly does not come out of the e-wallet. That is a separate subscription. When you signed up, you would have input your credit card information, and that's what's going to get pulled monthly. And typically BP will send out an email, we're getting ready to run the money for this month, and they'll give you like a heads up. All right. Anything
Yeah,
else
and
on money, Moni?
so well, that's all really everything. But one thing that hitting on the point that you said about shipping, and the money, like not having it to ship, something that you may want to consider is just making sure you keep that communication open with your customers.
Yep. Just let your customers know.
Yeah, let your customers know, like if it's a Monday and you're partying and you know that you're not going to get that money in your e-wallet till Friday, you can tell them, I ship every Friday, or I ship every Saturday. Like I ship once a week. So if they shop with you on Saturday, they know, this benefits you because you can shop with me all week long if you want to, and add to your bag, which also kind of leads me into why I have different levels of adding onto a bag. Because for me, when somebody adds to a bag, what happens? It gets heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier, and it could end up becoming something that maybe would have cost you $5 to ship, all of a sudden becomes a $15-$20 bag to ship, and now all that, there's all your profit. So we'll be touching in on that specific topic with coupons. We'll touch on that in just a minute, where you are able to add coupons where instead of them getting all free shipping, you could do different levels of adding on to that. So just know that you can tell them, I only ship on this day, or I only ship out 2 days a week.
All right. We've talked the fun stuff. We've talked the money. Let's get live. Statistics show that when you start a home business, like in direct sales and network marketing, if you don't launch within the first 2 weeks, that you're never going to do it. And we want you to be successful. We want to know your hopes and dreams, and we want you to achieve them. So let's get going. Ready, set, live. First things first, you've got to be familiar with the back office. When you're live and you are going, it's going to be a whole other thing. Oh my goodness, where are the orders? How do I move orders? I'm going to show you guys in a minute, all of that in a second. But, or if you don't even have shipping set up and you go live for the first time, or you haven't, hey, YOLO, even set up your party, your customers can't order. So there are things that you've got to set up in the back office before you even hit that live button for that very first time, because you want to make sure you are ready, set to go, because I'm going to tell you, it's going to be nerve-wracking. It's going to be nerve-wracking enough just to hit that live button, and then to have the frustration of trying to figure out how you're going to see the back office. And that's another thing. Are you going to need 2 devices? Do you need a computer? Like me, I could never do the back office from a phone or a tablet. Like I just cannot do it. I did it a couple times when we were at conference trying to go live with the gals and everybody. But I'm going to tell you, like for me, I've got to have that computer right there. I've got to have it set up so I can go live on my phone. So for you, you got to find out what's best. For most people, you're going to need at least some type of 2 devices, whether it's a phone and a tablet, 2 phones, a phone and a computer, whatever it is that you use. So, but make sure, like if you're going to do the back office from a tablet, that you've kind of practiced that a little bit, because depending on how you have the tablet, the orientation of it, the back office does look a little bit different than if it were just on the computer. So making sure that you've set up your shipping. Do you guys hear? You know what? I'm going to bring up my back office. Let's just go ahead. All right, y'all. You're always going to see my back office. And I'm going to show you. Let me do. I had it up. I got 6,000 tabs up.
It may seem intimidating at first to set up your back office, but really, once you do it a few times, you'll feel more and more comfortable.
Okay. There's my back office. All right. Now you guys get to see all of my personal stuff. All right, here we go. So to set up shipping, it's right in that shipping category. And you just hit the settings. And like for me, mine is $6.75 for right now. This default shipping origin address that really doesn't matter. And then like I even have in there, like, cause it has like time to fulfill orders. So if you know you only ship 1 day a week, then you can put that information in there. So you just set it up how it works best for you. And like I said, like say if you had a certain amount and you're like, I'm always going to give free shipping, instead of doing like some people don't always want to just give codes, they can just have it automatically set in the system. But just know that like for me, if I do free shipping, I give a code. But if you had free shipping set up on here this way within the system, they can still use a code on top of that. So just remember that, because I don't want people double dipping too much into how much I give them, which is why I do a free shipping code. But just kind of keep that in mind, because you want to keep all of that money in your pocket. You don't want to give it away.
Yeah, you don't want to give too much away. You need, this is at the end of the day, this is a business. It's not,
Mhm.
and you don't want to go in the negative. Something that she
Yeah.
mentioned, when you look at the shipping right there, you guys, you set those rates by, you write in standard shipping and you basically put in,
Yeah.
the highest amount. I want money. Exactly.
Mhm.
And you
Yeah.
can put in like 200,
Shipping.
for instance. Then that would
Yeah.
mean 0 to 200. The rate is, is
Yeah.
six
Here, well, I'll
dollars.
do it. I'll change it. I'll throw mine off. Okay. So you put in shipping, 200 and then $10. So now it changed it on me. So, and why it's really weird how Bomb Party system is set up right now. And we're going to have to redo all of this when we
Yes.
get the new back office. So just know that,
Oh
yeah,
gosh.
it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get it set up, but but if you just put in what it is, like, even though I put
What
in
is
that
Tyler
200 is
doing?
the price point, it's still going to make it $10. So it's a little
Yeah.
bit of
And
a
so,
curve to get the system. Yeah.
yeah. And so if you want a different price point, so like when somebody purchases over 200 from on my system, my price for my shipping goes up $1. It goes to 9.51,
So if I
and that's
did
because
to
it's
500,
heavier. So if you wanted to do max shipping, you could write 20 not 201, you would write like 800 or something, right? So then it's going to make it so between 800
Mhm.
plus, or if you want to write for me, I put 201. So if it's 201 plus, then the system charges, the new amount. So you can, like
Mhm.
you said, you can do a tiered system on your shipping rates. It's very simple. And to hit Karina's point, yes, the back office looks very, very different
Stuff is
on
like,
a
I want
phone.
money.
But there is the option on a phone. If you click on the bottom of your phone, you can click desktop version,
Mode.
and
Mhm.
it'll turn the what the back office looks like into a desktop version on your phone, so that you can kind of get more into the nitty gritty, because some of these details,
Yeah.
button options that are on a computer or a tablet, do disappear when it's in the phone mobile version.
Okay, so that was shipping. What else do we have to set up? We got to set up our e-wallets. I don't know that it's going to show me how to do it for you guys, because I already have
I have a quick
it
question.
set up.
This is Mary Glaviana. Can y'all
Go
hear
for
me?
it.
Okay. I got slammed one time with the shipping when we had collections, and the price goes way up. Okay, it's
Hmm.
collection.
Yeah, like
And
stacks.
they
Yeah.
said, "Oh, you charging $10 or $12 for 2 items or 3 items. Do y'all adjust your shipping at that point?"
I do. For
So
stacks, I raise it because it costs a whole lot more. Like the Lux layers, I'm getting ready to ship a couple of those out, and those things get heavy. It costs
Okay,
more than just a couple bucks. It's getting into almost priority shipping.
okay,
Um,
but what
and
about rings? Because the rings, you know, two, you got two collection rings. Let's say it goes up to $70, or three is 100 and something. It really
Mhm.
only ships like at $4 or $5,
Yeah, I was gonna
and you
say just rings.
well,
It doesn't. That's gonna be a call you might have to make. You might have to be intentional when you're having your say say the next collection that comes out is Stacks. We know it's not Stacks, but let's just pretend it's Stacks. And so I'm going to raise my shipping. But if I know that my customer is just getting rings, then I might have a special code on hand that's going to drop that price a little bit. That's something I would do. Or on the flip side, maybe is there something could you do for your customer extra on the flip side to be like, hey, you only got 2 rings. My shipping was set because we have Stacks that just came out. Can I, I don't know, just give
Well,
a smiley face. So it's,
yeah.
yeah.
So to let you know, kind of, this is what I do. Okay, Mary, and like I said, you guys, this is your business. You decide what's best for you. Okay. But this is why my shipping is set at age 51. And no matter if it's a stack or if it's whatever it is, that shipping works for me because it will cover at least half of a medium-sized priority box, right? For me to ship out. But not only that, like if somebody is buying only rings, and I know that, I will say, if you're only buying rings during this live, then use this code, right? You could say things like that. And I also make very strict, you have to pay shipping for every 4 stacks. You have to pay shipping for every 4 luxe layers. My customers don't add more than 4 stacks per order because they know, I'll tell them, I need you to either go in and buy something else to pay shipping because that costs too much. It's also how, if they want to add on, like say they bought 4 stacks and they're like, Moni, I need to add on. I will say, well, you can't use a code because you already have 4 stacks in your order. You need to pay shipping again. But let's say they only bought 2 stacks and they want to add 1 more stack. That's still within the 4 stack realm. So I'll say, okay, use the code more3. So then that takes away all your shipping. But let's just say it was like they have 3 stacks and they wanted to add 2 more stacks, right? Well, that's over the 4 stack limit. So I have a variant of my coupon codes where I say, okay, use the code more2, and it only charges them $2.50 to add on 2 extra stacks. So now they paid me at least about $11 in shipping, which is, for me, it's good. I do eat it a little bit on that shipping when I have to use a priority medium box, right? I eat it for a couple of dollars, but it's worth it to me to maintain that customer relationship. I do eat into my profit a little bit for my customers sometimes, quite often, to be honest, but that's the way that I choose to run my business because it maintains that relationship where I can feel like, well, they are still getting the value. I'm still making money. Am I making the most money that I could possibly make? Probably not, right? Because I'm giving them a couple of dollars of that profit. However, to me, it's been okay in my business. But look, if that's not something you want to do, you're like, no, my customer has to pay all of the shipping, then you have to adjust what your base rate is based on your own decisions. There is no, you must do this, you guys. You decide what is that base rate for you.
And I'll tell you, my report's not up yet for 2023, but I pulled my report for 2022 of all the shipping I did. I was able to pull my average price for shipping of everything I did in 2022. It was $6.08. So that's with everything. So, and I'll be curious, my report for 23 is not out yet, but that's something that if you use ship.com, you can go back after a couple months, go back and look at your average and adjust. Because if you need to change, then change. And if you just let your customers know shipping costs more, it's the reality of the world. We know that shipping prices go up. And I have to say, regardless, Bomb Party's got some of the cheaper shipping prices anyway. I bought stickers. Welcome back in. I bought stickers the other day, and I still had to pay. It was like $16 for shipping, and that was just normal ground shipping. So
Yellow says he makes money on shipping too. And that's true. Like you can make money off of some shipping too, but in a way, YOLO, it's not just making money off of shipping. You're actually just covering your bases, right? Like you're covering the cost
Yeah,
of your
especially if it
bubble
goes
mailer.
over.
You're covering the cost of your stickers. You're covering the cost of your shipping tape. You're covering the cost of the labels that you use in your label maker. So you guys can't see it as, oh my gosh, I'm making money off my customer. Not really. You're just covering the cost that you are putting out to ship that item to your customer. That bubble mailer didn't come up out of thin air. That label that you use in your label maker didn't pop up
He's
out
like,
of
that's
thin
what I meant.
air. You had to buy it.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. Your shipping costs should definitely cover postage and all of the supplies. So
Definitely.
to keep that in mind when you're picking out the supplies and things that you want. If you don't know receiving inventory, when you place an order with Bomb Party, you have to go into your My Orders and actually receive the inventory. It will not get added into your inventory unless you hit that button. So just keep that in mind. That's the same thing with the starter kits. So your people will not be able to see any of those items, and it won't be automatically added in until you hit that receive inventory button. And like for me, with like special collections, I hit it right away. But if I get like just OGs, then I wait till I actually get those items in. And that's just how I personally decide to work mine business. But collections, because I want those pre-orders right away. So and as soon as it's in your inventory, you are able to start taking pre-orders. I think that's one of the most common questions I see on the official Bomb Party group is, when can we start taking pre-orders? Well, as soon as you order it and it's in your back office and you hit that receive button, that you can go ahead and start taking pre-orders.
Yeah, and just a side note is when you're looking in your back office and it says sold, there's like different tabs, and one tab says
Oh yeah.
what does it say? It says one is sold out and one says in stock, I think is what it says. If you are like I don't see something, you guys can
at the top.
yeah, right. It says in stock and sold out. So if you don't see it in that in stock area, like let's just say you thought you sold out of size 7, right? But you're like, no, it's over here. Go to that sold out section. It might be in there. And if it's in there, you can add it. That's how you add it back in. You just put a 1 to, put it back in to show up. And then you put
Can you see my screen? Yeah. Yeah, you just in the little box. So like say this collection for cause, this first one, this size 5, I really had 7 in stock. I would just add 2 and hit update. And there it goes. It says my quantity is now 7. All right, let me get rid of that before I.
And so to get rid of it, you do -2 and do an update. Okay, so that's how you adjust what's in your inventory in your back office. I do suggest doing a count every week of what you have, or at least twice a month, because sometimes the back office, I don't know why, it does glitch, and sometimes it will say that you have something and you really don't have it, or maybe something was missing from your order and you received your inventory.
Check your boxes.
Yeah. So when you guys get your orders from Bomb Party, I used to in the very beginning when I started my business, I was like, oh, they sent me what I ordered. Please do not make the assumption that what you ordered is in the box. Please count, because I just got an order recently that I ordered 10 holiday stacks and not one holiday stack was in the box. And then with Luxe Bands, I had thought, oh, everything's there. I counted and I was missing 3 size 9s and 1 size 6. So it happens. And when that happens, you contact them, you put a ticket in, and they will send you that missing inventory. They do send you what they didn't send. You paid for it, so they have to send it to you. But just make sure that you're doing counting what you actually have on hand and what actually comes in your shipments.
And on that, since we're talking about it, like for like Luxe Bands, like when it's a non-reveal, 6s and 9s, it's exactly the same. It just depends how it looks. So a lot of times 6s and 9s. BP does have a new system. That's why there's barcodes on everything. So they're scanning and trying to get better and making it more efficient. But just know those 6s and 9s, a lot of times I'll have issues with 6s and 9s because depending on how they're holding it, it looks like one or the other. And then the number where the words around it are just always a little bit lighter. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's the inventory right there. This hide in store. So when you set up the party, you decide what items are going to be sold within that party. But say, because like for me, maybe I don't want to sell a collection for whatever reason, but that's the only one. I have a bunch of collections and it's a pain in the butt to go in one by one and say, these are the collections that are going to be sold. I could put hide in store, or maybe you really like personal a collection yourself and you're like, I'm going to save that because I got to decide if I want to buy, 2 or 3 of them, or I don't know what the deal is, but whatever it is, if you need to hide it, you can click that button. And even though you put sell all items in my inventory, it will hide it from your store to be sold until you uncheck that button.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Making a party. I know that we've got some friends who have been around a while, but do you guys know how to set up a party? Yay, nay? We're good.
So
Okay.
those of you who want more step by step for the make a party, we do have in Team Bliss a video on YouTube that is very in depth of this is how you make a party. I think what I'll just say in regards to this, when it comes to the back office, you guys, the dates that really matter are the sale start date. It's the second one, not the first date when you make a party, but the second date when you make a party. That date, I believe that's what it says, right, Lee? It says sales start date.
Yeah, it's the party day, the sale day, and the close day. There's 3 days
Yeah.
you have to put in.
So the sale day, that date, if you put it in the future, that party is not going to show up on your website. So if you put it in the past, it will show up on your website. Okay. The only date that they see when they're on your website is party date. That's the only date. They're not going to see your sale start date. Okay. So for me, sometimes because I don't know, I feel like the system glitches on me a lot. I put the date in the past. Right. And same thing, like, let's just say you are doing a mystery hostess, which we're going to get into, but it didn't hit a certain thing, but that night you want to do a certain theme party and you don't want anyone to accidentally order from that hostess rewards party that you have open. Go into that hostess rewards party, change the sale date to something in the way future. It will not show up on your website that night that you have your theme party. Then after your theme party is over, you can go back in and change the date to that hostess party back into the current date, and it will start to show up on your website again. Okay. That's one way to make a party disappear from your website. And then the end date, I typically always just put the last day of the month. That's what I do for all my parties. I just put the last day of the month. You do not have to close your parties that night that you end your that night. That is not a requirement. Okay. You should leave your parties open until they hit 1,501 so that you can have a mystery hostess party and provide that rebate to either somebody who wants to join or to provide the mystery hostess to a customer. Now, the rebate is going to be disappearing once we go into the new back office. That will no longer be available, period, end of story. But from what we understand, the mystery hostess will not be going away. That will still be available to customers. Okay. And we're going to move on to coupons.
Okay. No, I'm going to talk really quick on mystery. I know we got mystery hostess later on, but since we're here, mystery hostess, if you choose to do mystery hostess, you are on a timeline when you close that party to get that mystery hostess stuff entered. So make sure that if you close that party, that you have that customer what they want if they want to use it as a rebate, that they are, they're on a timeline. So they have to be ready to sign up right then, because if they do not do that within the timeline of that party closing, then they are not going to be able to get that information. So you can leave parties open. So like, for example, I had say a party in November that hit a level 5 party. I still have it open right now because for whatever reason, I didn't have someone take it. If I had someone who joined that wanted to join today, I would be like, all right, I'm going to close that party. You're going to join today and I'm going to get you that rebate. So you can go back and snag those parties that are still open. They haven't been getting orders on them. So just make sure as soon as you hit that close button that you're on a timeline, and it's only like 48 hours that you've got to have information submitted.
Yeah, so you guys, they recently changed that, unfortunately, YOLO. So they recently changed that. Okay. Once
And
you
they didn't
close
tell anybody, which was the sad thing about
YOLO.
it. Yeah.
Okay, YOLO, I'll talk to you later about this. So basically they changed this timeline. This timeline used to not exist, okay? And this just became a new thing. So if you close the party, the minute you close that party, that clock starts. And a person can, if they're going to sign up to be a rep, they have to do it within that 72-hour window. And PS, it's on Eastern Standard Time. So if that's 3 hours ahead, that is 72 hours from Eastern Standard Time where they are at the corporate. It is not your time. Okay, that's one. Yeah, that's one other thing to keep in mind. Go ahead, Lee.
And the party has to be closed before they sign up. So so they've got it. The party's got to be closed before. So just know that, there's a specific timeline of getting those rebates. Same thing with the mystery hostess. It's not as crazy timeline as the rebates, but don't close those parties until you have that information from your mystery hostesses on what they want. So you can just submit it right away.
Yeah.
All right. Coupons. Go ahead, Moni. Coupon away.
So a basic thing is you don't press generate code. I think that's number one. Let me just start there. Don't press generate code because it's going to generate some crazy numbers and letters.
Some crazy thing.
So you can make any word a coupon. Let's just say I want Lee to have free shipping all the time, anytime she orders from me. I can put her name, a description at the top. This is Lee's free coupon code. Then you can choose if you want it to be a flat rate or a percentage. I personally like to only do flat rate codes. Do people go and do, you get 20%, you get 15%? Yes, they do. However, I don't know about you guys, but if I go and I look at what do Target do, what does Ross do, what do these retail shops do? Every once in a while, yes, you'll see 20% off, but for the most part, people are not mathematicians. A lot of people just like to see flat out what they're going to be getting off. Like, oh, I'm going to get $6 off. I'm going to get $5 off. You tell them they're going to get 20% off, and that could be $10.50, right? And then you tell them you're going to get $10 off. All of a sudden, and here's the thing, me and Lee have tested this, okay? We have tested this theory. People like flat rate, knowing what they're going to get off. Okay. Those are going to be more useful to you than saying you get 20% off tonight. And PPS, that also saves you money because 20% off can sometimes be way higher than a flat rate that you are offering. So at the end of the day, not only is it easier for your customer to understand and probably bring in more profit for you because you'll get more orders, you're also going to save money because percentage wise, you're not giving as much away. Okay. But can you make it a percentage? 100%. You can make it a percentage. Then you enter how much you want to give away. Make sure you look at that number and that, because I have accidentally put in the wrong number. And then this is the part that is very important. The minimum amount to purchase. You want to enter this because if you're like, Lee, you can only get free shipping when you spend $80. Then I need to make sure I put in an amount of $80. So that means when Lee goes in, because listen, do I trust Lee? Is she super honest? Yeah, 100%. But what if Lee is really sleepy one night and she puts things in her cart and she forgets that that code only works for $80 and it's a $60 order, and then she uses her code and ta-da, it works like magic because Moni didn't make the coupon code right and didn't set a minimum amount that she has to purchase. So make sure you guys enter that minimum amount, because that is going to make it so that she might text me and be like, Moni, my code's not working. And I'll be like, Lee, your cart was not 80. Okay. And that is minimum is not including tax. Okay. Sometimes people will say, I tried to use your code and it didn't work. I would ask them, was your amount before tax or after tax? That amount has to be before tax. Okay. Then right there at the very bottom, you enter whatever the word is. Like maybe, Lee's coupon is, I don't know, baby pink, or maybe her coupon is, awesome. Whatever it is, you put the word in, and then you put, I think it says add coupon, right? So
there's two things in there that we didn't talk about. One,
go ahead.
how many times can it be used for?
Oh,
so if you
thank you.
don't put a number there, it can be only used one time. And then maybe you just have a flat coupon, but you say this coupon is only good for the next, 2 months. So like
Yeah,
I did a big
coupons
customer
expire.
appreciation thing. And so I told them, I was like, here's a coupon, but this coupon expires. And I did at the end of April, is what I did for mine. So you can choose to when that coupon is going to expire, and it'll automatically decline it after that date. So that makes it nice that you can kind of set it and then forget it. But also too, on the flip side, like especially me, like my add-on codes, like people have learned what the add-on code is. And so they'll just go in and automatically put it, and they're not really adding on to a second order. And so every now and then I'll change up my add-on code for that reason alone.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
then you just hit create.
and I want to say, yeah, and I want to say real quick, you guys, you need to learn that in this business, people will try to take advantage of you. Okay. And so building boundaries is okay. If somebody puts an order in and they didn't do it right, and it's going to cost you too much money, like they did free shipping and add-on code, and they're like, oh, whoops, I didn't know. I'm going to tell you 90% of the time they did know what they were doing. Is there that 10% of people that maybe really didn't know? Maybe, but cancel the order. Because once you start showing your community, hey, if you don't follow the rules, then I'm not going to fizz you. This is not Desperation City, okay? Like, I know, like, if you don't have sales for a party, it might feel like that during that party. Like you're like, oh well, at least I have an order and at least I'm gonna fizz. But no, because you're compromising your business. You're compromising what that person's going to try to do next time. You give somebody the kitchen sink one time, what happens? Now they want the kitchen sink, and they want your trash can, and they want your refrigerator, and they want your microwave. And by the way, can I have your couch too? Like, people will always try to take as much as possible. I wish that wasn't how it is, but that is how it is. And so in your business, set your standards and don't deviate from those standards. If you don't want to offer any discounts, like Yolo is saying, don't offer discounts. Like Lee also mentioned, you can just set your shipping at whatever it is, and you can tell them whether it's this or that, this is what shipping is, right? I don't offer discounts. There are plenty of reps that do not offer discounts. Now, me personally, I have learned, because unfortunately the community of BP and the addicts that people, BP creates, right? They are used to the word coupon, they're used to the word code, and they're also used to the word newbie. I'm a newbie, and you could find people going around searching for different reps just for a newbie code. And so what I just have chosen to do is I say, okay, Everybody gets to use this code. A newbie can use it. A longtime loyal customer can use it. If you buy 2 items, you can use the code XYZ. But that's also why my shipping is not $6. Can you imagine if I do $2 off or even $1 off every single time they order? My shipping's now $5. So basically at $8.51, if I want to give a discount every single time, on average, my customers pay at least $6 for shipping. That, and I really feel that that's fair. But if you want to set your things at $6 and then you don't offer a coupon code, that's okay too. You just have to kind of feel it out and decide. But yeah, I do think though that it is beneficial to at least have some kind of newbie code if you want it, for those people that maybe are on the fence of buying. But that's also where that shipping rate and deciding what that's going to be comes into play.
Yeah, and I'm going limited codes this year. That's what I've decided. That I have not done any codes other than my customer appreciation one that I gave for the next several months, and that was just to certain customers who got their name drawn. Other than that, like I'm gonna see what can happen this year.
She's gonna go
try to do.
YOLO.
I am. I'm going to go just like YOLO. I'm going to give the mystery hostess rewards. And I'll tell you, I did my party the other day that I did. Granted, I did have the new February in, but not one person asked me about what's the giveaway. I mean, they did ask because I did do tickets to the mystery hostess. So they're asking, what's this gold drum that you keep talking about? But they didn't ask for a coupon code. It wasn't like, what are you going to give me so I buy from you? Because I've decided I don't want that. I want customers who want to come and hang out and shop with me. And so that's what I'm going to try this year.
Yeah, you build your community, you guys. If you start offering this, offering that, then you're going to get a bunch of people that just are only going to shop with you like that. So it depends on like how you just what boundaries you decide.
Your business, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing wrong with coupons. Yeah. Yeah. Set your standard. And there's nothing wrong with coupons. There's nothing wrong with it. And I tell you guys, I use coupons all the times. Yeah. So up until now, but I've decided this is what we're going to try. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. So just I don't want anyone to think, oh my gosh, Leanne's not using them. No, there's nothing wrong with it. You set your business, what works for you. Oh, go, Mary.
Was there someone that said something, Mary?
Yes, I was always taught to make sure that when we set our minimum purchase, do $19.95 and above, because they'll try to use a code on children's rings and you lose your butt if they do that. And I figured it out, and yes, you would. Is that true to y'all too?
Yeah, I do $19.95 base for everything. I mean, we do make a little bit more on children's rings. I think that if I do like buy 3 or more, I'll sometimes do like $19.95, $19.95, and $17.95, and make an average range there. So it's like 20, 30, 40, 50. Instead of it being like $59.50 or whatever that is, I'll set the standard at like you have to spend at least like $58 or something. So then that way it's not them only buying kids rings. Like they would have to buy at least an OG, or they would have to buy at least a special collection and a kids ring. Does that make sense, Mary?
And 2, you can play with the numbers. Like instead of saying at minimum $19.95, you can say minimum of $20. So at that point they have to buy 2 items. Yeah. Like there's no way to get around that, or they have to buy a special collection or a birthday, something else other than just, so it's not just an OG, and it's not just, and that goes the same for all of it, like $20, $40, $60, all in those increments. A lot of times they've got to buy much more than that. They've got you're gonna so that's it, then that's just a play on numbers.
Yeah, it's a play on numbers at that point. Because like for instance, like 6 items, let's just say it's all OGs, it adds up to like $119 and something cents. And I have a code that you spend $125, you get 25 off. But in order to spend $125, that is at least 8 items, I think. It's not just 6 rings, right? So you can play with the numbers, you can play with your coupon codes, do your math, and if you ever need help, you can just reach out to a mentor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Exactly,
YOLO.
It's
YOLO
two
is like,
items.
yes. He's saying exactly that. Yeah, it's you're getting 2 items sold versus just one. Yeah. Or you can set codes like maybe you've got like just a collection that you want to sell, just that, and you can say this coupon code is only for if you buy, like I got a gazillion collection for cause rings that I would love to get rid of. That I have a coupon and I tell my people this is only for this. And if you use it for something else, I'm canceling your order. And you can tell them it takes a couple days to get your money back. And it's not because of BP, it's because of their bank
Their bank.
rerouting that money back to them.
Yep.
And I have canceled that way in the past too. So that's just another thought with those. Yeah, you could it's really it's up to you and really how you want to work your business with coupons and discounts. And the same goes for gift-aways and things like that on the flip side. Is just remember those costs and things do add up and the weight of those items adds up into your shipping.
Yeah, and you don't have to give anything, you guys. Gina never gives anything away. There's a lot of reps that don't give anything at all. Maybe they just have an end of the month. And when you first start out, I don't recommend you do give anything. I think you should just use the mystery hostess rewards. Yeah, you set the standard. I will cancel an order, no problem. Exactly. You can use your mystery hostess rewards as that is the reward for the end of the month, even like because you may not have a party, that set gets to 1501 in one night. Well, then maybe you takes 2 parties, maybe it takes 3 parties, maybe it takes all month, right? Well, that's okay. At the end of the month, whatever tier it reached, and you can give that away. So yeah. So let's move on. We got checking orders. This is our last part of the basics of the foundation. Okay. Yeah, exactly. The gimmick is gone. The basis foundation.
And I don't have any orders in here to show you.
So you've gotten an order, and what will happen is it will come,
Here.
it will show up in the first section that says
There we go.
unfulfilled. And that's where you're going to see it. Okay. It shows up just like Lee has it right there. And then on the computer in the desktop version on the right hand side, you'll see a button right above that second black bar that says check status. You need to click the order, then put change status, and you'll change the status to shipping. Okay. That's what you're going to change the status to, shipping. Don't change the what?
Did you get your
okay.
shower?
Okay, that's Haley. Don't change the status to canceled. That will cancel the order. Okay, you'll lose your money. Don't change the status to fulfilled, because then when it goes to ship.com, you're not going to see it there as ready to pay for a label. It's going to basically look as if you already shipped it. Okay. Now, the only thing that you cannot take back, okay, and it does ask you, are you sure, before you change the status to anything. The only one that you cannot take back is canceled. If you cancel an order by accident, that's donezo, and you'll have to contact the customer, and hopefully they'll be nice enough to say, sure, I'll put the order back in for you. That there's no take backsies on that one. But if you accidentally put it over to fulfilled, you can put it back to unfulfilled. If when I do pre-orders and I see a pre-order come in, I'll change the status to hold, and I put it into my hold section. The other reason I do that is because when it syncs with ship.com, it will show you back ordered. So then if I have that same customer who parties with me that night, and I have a package for them that night, and I'm merging my orders, let's just say they ordered multiple times that evening, and I'm merging the order to ship to them the next day, I don't accidentally merge their pre-order, because I'm going to need that, right, to ship to them the following week when their stuff comes in to Fizz. So that's why I like to put those into hold. And then when my pre-order gets here, when my items get here, I then go into my hold section and I click, and I put them all back into unfulfilled. Okay. And then I change the status and they'll go back to unfulfilled. I'll Fizz them, click it, change status to shipping. When you do that, it then goes to ship.com and it will sync with ship.com. Okay. Ship.com is a separate website. It has nothing to do with Bomb Party. You pay $19.95 for that. There is a link to getship.com. If you don't have it, you can reach out to me or your mentor, and I'm sure they'll have a referral link for you to get that. We do have special pricing on ship.com. They give us the executive package for $19.95. Typically it costs $29.95. So almost, a little bit more. And we pay $19.95 for our back office every month as well. So that is just how you check orders when you're live. Okay. That's how you check orders when you're live. And what you do, I do highly recommend getting familiar with it. Maybe just like put in an order for yourself on your website so you can kind of play with it if you want before you go live. And that way you'll understand and you won't get nervous. You know, it's already nerve-wracking pressing live. So that is one thing you may want to practice before you hit the live button. Go ahead, Lee.
All right. So that was the back office in a like quick nutshell. It's just going to take some time for you just digging in front of it if you haven't had that already. So now that you've kind of familiarized with the back office, you've set up a party. How are you going to go live? How are you going to make your sales? You need to sit down and determine what that is going to look like for you. A lot of reps go on TikTok or Facebook, but there are reps out there who don't use either platform, that go on either other platforms or they just do in-person events and parties. So that's completely up to you. So just make sure that you've kind of defined and what's going to work for you. If you're going to go on TikTok, make sure that you have at least 1,200 people following you before you go live. Because if you have just 1,000, if you hit that live button and someone's like, oh, this is not what I wanted, and they unfollow you and you go below that 1,000, then it's going to drop your live off. So 1,200 is a good like minimum that, you know, because there are going to be people that follow and unfollow all the time. And Moni has in her group and that we have like, if you want to use follow trains and things like that to quickly hit that 1,000, there are some trainings I know that we already have in the group already.
Yeah, and just a quick thing about it, you know, Terry, she followed the guidance and she was able to hit her 1,000+ followers in a week, and that's a typical average. If you put in the work, you can do it. The basics are this: you do follow for follow trains. There's mom follow for follow. You look up those hashtags. There's also go grow lives. That's really the two main basic ways to grow your following and to keep engaging with the platform. Whichever platform you choose, you need to spend the time engaging with the platform.
And follow trains are really, we only recommend them just to get those initial numbers. After that,
Yeah.
you want to start reaching your people. When you do follow trains, primarily it's just people who everybody's in the same boat. Everybody wants to get that 1,000 or 5,000, 10,000 mark. They're all looking just to get followers, and that's all they want is, and so it's just kind of this for that. I'll follow you, you follow me, and we go and we grow. But after that point, you're going to need to taper off from those follow chains and really start working on engaging with your community so you can keep up your page that way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ins and outs when it comes to TikTok. You guys, there's so many ways to utilize TikTok nowadays. I will tell you this, YOLO is really good at a lot of things when it comes to knowing about battles and things on TikTok that maybe you are like, I'm unfamiliar. He's a really great resource. He's on our team. You could reach out to him anytime. You could reach out to me. You could reach out to Lee. So just know that it's okay to not know right now. But the basics are put in the work and put in the time, and hopefully you can grow. Are we hitting that relationship basic thing that I was going to talk about with TikTok now or later, Lee?
That's kind of all in here.
Oh, okay. So let me just say this real quick then, okay? Those of you who may have already have accounts, when you sign up, if you already have an account and you're like, I'm just going to change my name to be this and use this account now for Bomb Party, I'm going to tell you right now, imagine, this is how I see TikTok. This is the best analogy that I can create, okay? You meet somebody and you like them and you want to be their friend. So you ask them to dinner, or you ask them to go to the movies, or you ask them to hang out. And the first time you ask them to hang out, they say no. Then you ask them to hang out again, they say no. If you, by the 10th time that you've asked them to hang out and they haven't hung out with you, what happens? You stop asking. You kind of stop wanting to engage with that person as much. And if you've been using your TikTok account for other things for, let's just say, 6 months or a year or even 2 years, and you haven't really been engaging with the platform on making any content, you haven't really done, anything in regards to using it for your business and really utilizing your thing in a certain particular way, right? Then TikTok only knows you for how you've been engaging with them. And so it may be worth it for you to also start a backup account and start engaging with it and go to the movies with TikTok. Not only go to the movies one time, go to the movies with them 3 times a week, go to the movies with them 5 times a week. So all of a sudden they're like, oh, wow, this person is my bestie, right? And they start feeling like they're really close to you. And what happens when you become really close with somebody? You start doing them favors, right? Well, maybe then TikTok's going to do you a favor and throw you on the FYP. Why are they going to throw you on the FYP? Because now you're besties. Get it? So if you have an account that, you're like, oh man, I'm not getting pushed out, I'm not doing this, hitting live over and over and over again on that account that's already in a quote unquote non-bestie black hole is not going to do you any favors. You should put in the time, start a new account. I know it's going to be tough at first on that new account because you might go live and there might not be the same people. You may have to dual stream with your other account and let them know, hey, go follow me over here. I'm going to start using this one as my backup account. This is the one I'm going to start showing up with because TikTok and me are starting to become really good friends over here. And I really want to keep that momentum going. So that's something you have to think about. I know it's not easy to try to start a new account, but that it really does matter. And I can tell you, we've noticed that because we turned one of my older accounts that I hadn't been engaging with into our team TikTok account, which all of you guys who are on our team have access to that account and can go live on that account, by the way, anytime you want. You could dual stream with that. You just have to sign up for the day and not the time, just the day, and you can have access to it and dual stream your lives, because we are trying to dig that account out of a little bit of a hole. It's not getting the kind of engagement where we may have to start a new backup team account and try to do it. We haven't talked about that, Lee, but we may have to start all over again and hope that TikTok will become besties with us again, right? So that's kind of something I just want you guys to keep that in your minds. If you've been doing this a while and you were not having luck, or even if you were having a little bit of luck, but you're like, oh man, I don't understand why I'm not hitting certain things. Also, remember, when you're live, if you have zero engagement of no talking, no nothing there, then that's not helping you either. You do need engagement when you're live. You need emojis, you need some kind of words going across the screen, but also at the very bottom, you can see who's coming in and out. You can see how many people have been in your room within a certain amount of time. And if it's slowing down and there's not a lot of people, you may want to restart. After 25, 45 minutes of no traction, I really think that it's the best time to just shut the live down. The people that are in there, let them know why you're shutting it down and that you're going to come back live in a minute. That is in regards to when you want to specifically sell and you're not having luck. You don't want to sit there for 2 hours and TikTok's already decided that they're not. It's like someone stood you up to go to the movies. You're like, you had a date and they didn't show up. Well, hey, if they don't show up, okay, you can either go to the movies or you can either be like, you know what, I'm going to maybe call them. I'm going to hang up, I'm not going to just stand here and wait, right? You're going to try to find a phone. You're going to try to maybe get in your car, drive to their house, and then maybe go back to the movies, right? And wait again. I don't know. But main point is you're not going to just sit there and know that the same thing is going to keep happening, right? A different result is not going to keep happening if you just stand there or sit there. Okay. Let's see here. And in regards to that, when you get your kit, it would be really beneficial for you to record you unboxing your kit. Record any sparkly content of rings that you already have. Record your reactions the first time you fizz. You can get playbacks, your replays from your live in TikTok app. They do have that feature now where you can get your replay. You can download it and you can use that content on any platform. And definitely, if you want to create your brand across all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, I really think right now you should, which I'm going to be doing, is try to grow that YouTube account along with my TikTok. And then if you want to go to, Facebook, which is a pay to play kind of situation over there right now, you can. But one thing is, don't just give up. If you are having a hard time, reach out to somebody and have a conversation, because most likely you're not the only one in a hard space. You're not the only one dealing with, a certain situation, but tenacity does work. Showing up continuously for your business does work. And you just have to keep going. Because I'll tell you, I've had a live before where I was live for 8 hours and I sold like 4 things, maybe. I've also had a live where I was live for 4 hours and I sold nothing. It happens to everyone. And I've been doing this for 3 years. Okay. So just understand that this is a process, but you're not alone in the process. Okay. Making a consistent schedule is going to help you for sure. If people start to know that you're going to be live every single Friday at a certain time, that's going to help you a lot. I know YOLO has a schedule. He also is a gamer, so he does that. And I know he has a schedule. People know he's going to be on, certain days at 1 a.m. and they come specifically just to watch him at that time. I know there's other people who are like, I'm only live on Wednesdays. I'm only live on Thursdays at 6 o'clock. If you are a person like me, because maybe you're thinking, oh man, I'm not good with schedules. That's Moni. Moni is, I don't like to be told what to do. I've always been like that since I was a little child, and somebody tells me to be there at a certain time and I tend to be like, no, I don't want to do it. And you can ask anybody. That's just how it is. But I do make it a priority when it comes to my business and the team, that I try my best to say, okay, we had a 3 o'clock. I'm getting better. I got here at 3:05 because of driving in traffic, right? I'm getting better. But when it comes to my business, I don't really like my customer. They started to hound me, and I don't really like to be told, like, you're not here. Where are you? Like, that makes me be like, well, I guess I'm not showing up then. Like, that's just kind of how I am. So I tend to just tell them I go live on Fridays, and you'll always find me live on Fridays, and typically after 6 o'clock sometime, and hopefully before 11 p.m. So then they're just constantly checking. Well, guess what? I also have something called an email system through ship.com. I can email out to my customers and let them know, hey, I'm going live now. There's also a text. You can sign up for text messages. Now, that is something that you may not be ready to do right away, because it does cost monthly to do something like that, a minimum of like $20 to $30 to have that kind of a text system. So if that's not in your budget right now, that's okay. I would say utilize the email system through ship.com, because that's going to be your best bet. You're not emailing each person individually. It does mass communication to every single person that's ever ordered from you. Okay. If you want to know more information in regards to how do you make that email look nice, we can help you. Lee's become very much of a professional with a system called Flowdesk, FLODESK. We have some trainings on that as well if you want further information. But yes, you can become a consistent schedule, but also at least consistent communication. Okay. And I'll let you take it away from there, Miss Lee.
All right, now we're back. Okay, yes, consistent communication is key in addition to those lives because we cannot be live 24/7. So you need to make sure that you are building that relationship, not just live, but how else can you connect with your customers? So just kind of think about that and keep that in the background. Ship.com has an excellent email system. I've just moved on to a different system. So I use Flowdesk now, but I still use the Ship.com system because I don't know if you know, but within that system, you can set up that after a package has been delivered to your customer, you can set up follow-up emails right within Ship.com. So that's really great to set that up. And I mean, I've gotten tons of reviews and feedback from that. And I save all of those emails and I'm like, here's my customer feedback. Look at and it's just like, and I think I titled the email like, how are your gems or something like that. And it just follows up that they've gotten their package as well, because I have had times where a package has been stolen that we think is what had happened. And so it's like, oh, wait, I was supposed to get a package yesterday or 2 days ago. So it's that follow up right there. It just kind of keeps it in the loop and it's automated, which makes it nice. All righty. Connecting with your mentor. Make sure that you're connecting and checking in. And that can be whatever that looks like for you, whether it's on Messenger, a phone call, a text. And it doesn't have to be like a drawn out phone call. It could just be like, hey, wanted to let you know especially for our new team members, when are you going live? Let the team know. Those are big things. Are you doing something big in your business? We had several team members a couple months ago who did like a group event. And so let us know the big things, whether it's business or personal. If you want to share that kind of information, you are family. We want to know what's going on. We want to be able to help you in any way that we can. And especially the personal side that we don't always see. If there are things going on, you don't have to give us the details. We're not gonna, we don't need the details unless you want to share them. But especially when the hard times are on, we want to be able to help and support you in any way we can. So just make sure that you're keeping in contact with your mentor and your live space. So you're going to go live. Where are you going to go live? How are you going to go live? There are things that you need to think about. You don't have to. You can see in my background and Moni's background that we've got permanent spaces now. But for the first 2 years of my business, I was either in my kitchen or my dining room that I would set up right before the live and I would take down after the live finished. So think about those kind of things. Where do you want to go live? How are you going to go live? What are you going to fizz in? What supplies do you need right there with you? I always forget like an extra rag to wash my hands. What's going to be in the background? Do you want a sign that says, join my team, or, what your name is? Or, you just got to really think about, are you going to have certain lighting? Like I can tell you, I had a lot of people the other day that were like, your lighting is terrible, Leanne. And I was like, I know it's terrible because I have everything on my Ring Vision because I do Ring Vision a different way. And YOLO always gets me about how I sound like I'm in a bathroom because of the acoustics. So that's just, there are things to think about that you don't really often think about. So we can get on a Zoom just like this and you can set your phone up and Moni or I or your mentor can be like, okay, this is what we can see. This is what's good. Cause like you can see like over here, this is my junk. We're going to call it a closet. It's not a closet, but I just have shelves separating 2 rooms. Like I wouldn't want that in my background. I want something more just that's plain like my blue. So we can kind of help you out. And that's things that we can do just to kind of look at it, especially like how YOLO always tells me it sounds like I'm in a bathroom. What could we do to fix that? Or maybe the lighting to me looks great, but you're all like, I can't see nothing. And so we could always talk about those kind of things too. So, and if you're going to play music, have that playlist ready. You never know. Alexa's always good at, because I always tell her sometimes to play random music and she always puts what my kids like. And I'm like, this is not appropriate, nor do I like this kind of music. So that's just things to think about because when you're live, there's so much going on. If you can have the setup in there done, you don't have to think about it. You can just roll into it. And then we talked about those mystery hostess rewards. but are you going to give them away? And Moni talked about that 1501 because that's a level 5 party. That's the max that you can, that we do. But, you know, maybe you decide whatever it is at night, that's the rewards I'm getting given away. And that's what I do. I do whatever it is. If it's a level 1 party, we're giving away the 4 OGs. And people do like the level 1s. I mean, the level 5 is nice because that's 9 OGs, but the level 1 is 4 OGs for $20. So I mean, people do still like that. So, and that's completely up to you if you're going to do those mystery hostess rewards. And like I said, don't close it until you have your hostess ready of what they want so you can submit it all. Because I've had times where I've drawn a name for who it is, and then it took a couple of days because they weren't at the end of my live to get back to me. And with this new timeline, they would have lost all of their rewards. So just keep that in mind. And then the not so fun part, although I had someone on my live last night who was like, can I just come do shipping at your house? And I thought it was because she didn't like the way I was doing shipping. And she goes, no, that looks relaxing. But for me, it's not relaxing. The shipping. How are you going to do shipping? What are you going to ship in? And so that's all things to think about. I ship in boxes. Your revealed rings have to be in some type of a box, whether it is a bubble mailer with like a little ring box, or like me that uses an actual box to ship everything in. That's completely up to you. And again, you have to price point that with your shipping costs. But just know at some point you got to do the shipping. The shipping, yeah, it takes a while. There's tips and tricks to it. I recommend when you get to that point, a thermal printer. It doesn't take ink and it's the best thing ever. I don't know where I had been my whole life in business without a thermal printer, but I have been using mine for the last 3.5 years. Like I said, there's no ink and you can print different sizes. I'd print all of my labels on it and it just makes it so much easier. So that's something to think about on your wish list down the road, because they can get kind of pricey, thermal printers, but they make it nice. No ink. Moni, you got anything on those?
You know, when it comes to resources for printing, if you're first starting and you can't afford it, you can go to USPS.com, create an account, and they have something called a customs label. It has like a little arrow on it. If you're looking online, you can have them ship you up to 30 of those at a time for free. They also will ship you, say you live in a place where your local post office doesn't have the medium rectangle type boxes and they only have the square ones. The rectangle ones, in my opinion, they fit more. Like you can fit more stacks inside of those than you can the medium priority square one. And you can have USPS ship you those boxes for free as well if you're going to be utilizing that kind of stuff in your business. But those custom labels are a huge resource if you can't afford a thermal printer right now, because you can print out the label on your regular printer. And then instead of wasting a bunch of money on shipping tape to tape down the label on every single package, all you do is you would take your label like this, you would fold your paper, and then you would stick it inside of the label. I have one actually. Let me show you. It looks like this right here. I don't know if you can see, it looks just like this. Okay. You can get this on the website for free. And it has a little sticker in the back where you basically pull this off just like that. And this part is all sticky. Okay. You would open up this little pouch. You would then stick your label inside of the pouch. It's really actually very simple. Why don't I just do it? Go like this, go like this. So now I have a piece of paper, sticking it inside. Ta-da! It's very simple. And then after you get it in, of course, because you're going to do a better job than Moni is doing right now. You're going to then just tape the top. Okay. You just take one piece of paper and you put it across the top. Hold on. I'll just get it done. There we go. All right. So now you have this little flap. Of course, see, this is Moni messing up something. Here we go. Something that's supposed to be very simple. Here we go. Because I opened the sticky part. Just so you guys know, this sticky part is very sticky. And once you get it down, it will not come up. Okay. So then you have this little flap. There's a little piece of plastic right here. You would take that plastic off, then this flap will go down. But I'll tell you from experience that sticky part that's right here is not that, it's not that sticky. That part isn't with the flap. So I just take one piece of tape and I tape down the flap. So now you have your label in a nice plastic thing. Now, I will tell you right now, if you ask a postal worker, can I do this? They're going to tell you no. It's not meant for that. Okay. It's not meant for that. However, I will tell you, I have been doing this for over 3 years. So it does work. You can do it. It is a workaround while you save money for a thermal printer. Okay. Once you get it, are ready for a thermal printer, they can cost you anywhere on average between 80 to 500. It really just depends on like which one you want. I know the Rollo systems, ROLLO, those systems are a little bit more expensive. Like I think you're looking at least 250 to 500 for that system. I use, and it's only because I got it over 10 years ago. I use a DYMO. It's called a Dymo. It's a Label 4XL, a Dymo 4XL, and that is a label writer. That one, I think, with a coupon I got from the company, cost me like 250. So they are, they can be pricey, but they have other ones, Jabsco and Miyun Bun, something like that. They have those through Amazon, and those ones can be a little bit less expensive, especially on like a Black Friday deal or something like that. So that's, yeah, I do recommend those. But it's not a necessity that your business is going to, need right away. You can make it work without it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now that you've gotten started, you know how much you're going to make. How about some more money? How about some more money? Fast Start. Fast Start's the first 90 days. Once you get out of that 90 days, there's no going back, but it's extra money on the table. It's an extra opportunity that our Fast Start has. And so I've got a graphic up that shows the Fast Start. And there's 3 tracks to it, and you can earn all 3, and you don't necessarily need to do it in order. Like if you hit Peridot, it's not like all of a sudden I can't go back and get that first one for Topaz. So just know that this is what it is. It's based on ranking up. And that was going to be a whole nother training. We do have trainings on ranking ups, and I'll show you in a minute a simple way that you can rank up, but there's like 1,000 different combinations on how you can rank up, but we'll show some simple ones in just a second. But just know that the first Fast Start track, it's hitting that Topaz Senior. You can do that by yourself. You don't have to have a team to do that. You can hit Topaz Senior all on your own, but going past Topaz Senior, which gets us into Peridot and Tanzanite, you will have to build a team. There's no way to rank beyond the Topazes unless you start building a team. So recommended starting as soon as you can and as soon as you're comfortable to go ahead and do it. And know that you don't have to know everything there is about Bomb Party. Your mentor is going to be right there with you. So if you sign up a new team member, they have that ability to work with your mentor as well. So don't think, oh, I'm new, I'm not even going to attempt to team build, because that's not an excuse. All right. It's not an excuse that you don't know or that you're too new, because you can do it together. You can work together. You've got a mentor above you. We have 2 great diamonds on our team, no matter for what team you're coming from, because we're all Rise Tribe here. So Ashley is our diamond and Danielle is our diamond corporate leg above that. So there's a wealth of information among all of the teams that it's never too early to start team building. And then along with that, with the Fast Starts, is that bonus PV money. So this is for anyone, no matter when you joined BP or where you're at, no matter what rank you're at, you can earn bonus PV. So if your PV is at $2,000, you're going to start getting an automatic 5% bonus on your total PV for the end of the month. If you hit the 5,000 rank, it's going to go up to 8%. And if you hit 7,000 PV, it's going to go up to 10%. And that money comes once a month on our bonus checks. And so the big goal when you're getting started is really hitting that 2,000 mark so you can start earning that extra PV. Because if you hit that 2,500 that you can see, you're already a Topaz senior. And so if you hit that 2,500 yourself, you've just earned an additional 5% right there. Plus you've hit that bonus and you're going to get those extra goodies because you're a part of Fast Start. All right, let me show you. I've got two
Something,
little graphics. Oh,
just so you guys know, PV means personal volume, and that's what
yes.
you purchase. Okay. That's not what you sell. That's how much you buy of inventory. And it seems like a lot because yeah, it's 2K. However, if you're working your business, that happens a lot faster than you can imagine. If you are consistently going live and you are consistently working at growing your community, you will be able to hit those goals. It just does take some time. It takes some dedication, and it takes a lot of perseverance. However, I will tell you, once you start hitting those goals on a regular basis and you get that 5% back on your money, you're like, why haven't I been doing this the whole time? And then as you grow, you'll start seeing that you're going to be able to do different things in your business because you have a little bit of extra money coming in.
All right. So ranking up beyond Topaz. So that team building. So I've got two graphics here beyond Topaz. So there's 3 levels of Topaz. But once you get past that 2,500 in PV, in order to rank to Peridot, you have to have you and at least one person. So there's got to be at least 2 of you. And that person is a Topaz lead. The minimal way to do it is you and another person both doing 2,000. That's the simplest way to get to Peridot. That top portion at the bottom in that box where it says personal volume, that's at minimum. You have to do 700. So say you had 5 team members, as long as you did 700 and you as a team did 4,000 and not one person did over 2,000, then you've hit it. So there's all kinds of possibilities to get you there, but at minimum on your team, it's you, one other person, $2,000. That's going to hit you Peridot. And and once you start ranking up, you're going to start earning team bonuses. And so that's the benefit of having a team, is you're going to start getting that extra bonus. Now there is that extra responsibility that you are now a mentor, but you're going to get those extra bonuses. And then like Tanzanite manager in here, it's you and 2 people. So, but you and Tanzanite manager, the simplest way is you've got to do 3,500. One of them just needs to do at least 350. Someone else needs to do at least 1,500. And then you need a little bit of extra income in there, PV wise. So the most you can always do as Tanzanite manager is that 3,500. That's that max volume rule. But ranking up, it does get kind of complicated. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it for today. But if you're looking at building a team and growing, reach out to your mentor so we can share with you. We've got lots of these different graphics to help break it down, because if you look at our comp plan book, it's like, oh my goodness, what are all of these numbers and where are they going? But just know, as you start building a team, you can rank up and earn extra team bonuses. And I added in our monthly tracker and goal sheet right there. If you need help planning out like goals, or say you want to make $200 this month with your BP money, how are you going to do that? We can sit down. We have a goal tracker. This is what I'm actually going to be going over on the 17th. We're going to be doing that Zoom, and we're going to be talking how to fill out the goal tracker. I created this one. It's a little bit different than the one BP has, because if you look at it, it walks you through like, what do you want to make? and exactly what you have to sell to get there. So if you want to make $200, we can walk through and I can tell you how many reveals you have to sell minimum to make that happen. Or excuse me, maximum. Because what's going to happen is we know that with collections, we make a little bit more money than we do with than say, OG necklaces and earrings. So we're going to show you at most, if you sold 200 reveals, how much money you're going to make. And we can tell you that. And that's what it breaks it down. So we're going to be going over that on the 17th. But that goal tracker, I do send it out the beginning and the end of each month that you can fill out. I actually printed 12 of these out already. I'm getting ready to put holes in them and I've got a binder because the way I set it up is so you could write your expenses on there, your business expenses. And this is how I'm going to keep track of my business expenses this year because I need to be a little bit better at that. So I'm putting this in my binder and then I'm putting a zip bag so I can put receipts in there for things that are not online receipts. But we'll go over this on the 17th. But it is, like I said, it is in the Team Bliss group. And if you're not on Team Bliss Gem Squad, you guys are welcome to this as well. And I can get this to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think that bottom line is when you guys are starting or you're restarting, even if you've been here a while and you want to restart, the big goal is to try to get that to 20. Well, if you're in Fast Start, you need 2,500. But if you're not in Fast Start, it's the 2,000 because then you'll start getting your 5% back. So this goal tracker is going to be so good for taxes at the end of the year, but also for you to have a goal in mind. Without goals, we just tend to kind of stray. And, for me, I need something to drive me sometimes because it's not always easy to press live. It's not always easy.
It's not easy. And with the goal tracker too, it breaks it down because if your goal is say to make $500 a month, but you're like, I'm only going to go live once a week. And maybe if my sales were, if I sell, $100 this week, and it gives you kind of a clear path. It'll show you exactly, you have to do X, Y, Z in reveals or you're not going to make your goal. And it kind of makes it nice that instead of doing because I don't ever really do sales goals, I want to sell X amount of pieces because I know if I sell, 100 items, that is going to be $500. It's at least $500. If I sell 100 items, I know that I will have profited at least $500. And now granted, it could be more because maybe that's all collection items, and that's a bonus. But that's the way it makes it a little bit simpler when we start looking at it by how many reveals, because we know that our profit margin is a little bit different based on the items that we have.
Yeah. And just to touch base actually on that point in our Bliss Gem Facebook group, you guys, we were really lucky. There's a customer that created, and then we has helped as well. You guys have tracker, you guys have access. And if you're not in our squad group, it's okay. We provided these trackers to Gina and to Megan and to our Rise Tribe members. Anybody who wants it can have it. It is a Canva template and you have your ability to print out your tracker. You can laminate it. I've laminated it. And what I do is I use wet erase. It's not a dry erase. It's a wet erase expo marker. Why is that? The reason is because when you're doing stuff, it's not going to come off your hand when you touch it. Okay. The only way that this comes off is if you get a wet item and you can wipe it with water. It'll come off with water. And that's why a wet erase is good. And I track my monthly goals. So I have it in tiers for my customers and I'll be able to know at the end of the month. This is how I use it is at the end of the month, I'll know, okay, I finished this 350 reveals. It didn't matter if it was an OG. It didn't matter if it was a special collection, but I did 350 reveals and this was my tier 3. Okay, like my tier for me, my tier 1 is 150. I have a 150 chart, I have a 250 chart, I have a 350 chart, and I have a 450 chart. Now, do I sometimes get into tier 4? Yeah, I do. I've gone into tier 4 before, and when this happens, I cry every single time because I am like, wow, that means that I have already done 150 plus 250, that's 2, 3, that's 400 reveals, plus another 350, that's 4, 5, 6, 750 reveals are tier 1, 2, and 3. And that means when I get into tier 4, I'm going into the 800 mark almost. And that is tier worthy. Okay. So for me, that's what I do by to keep track of how many reveals. I think it's helpful. People will sometimes come into my live and just ask me, where are we at, Moni, on our heart chart? Because I also, not only does that help me at the end of the month know how much to give away, for instance, I can also make goals and say, okay, like I'll show you guys right now. The community has a goal right now that they have to reach this heart right here at the end of this. So they have to finish this whole section in order to us to give away this Starbucks cup. So any single person. So that's what I'm saying. You guys don't have to give away something all the time. You can make a monthly goal. You can make a reveal goal. So I have one Starbucks cup. This is the cup. When everybody, or whenever you order, you get one ticket. Not sometimes I do a ticket per item, but sometimes they say, no, you get one ticket in the whole live as long as you order one time, no matter what you order, and you get one ticket and they get in here. And, sometimes I make it, you get one ticket. If you buy 4 things, I have a game. They can try to earn more tickets just to make it a little fun, but it's not going to be given away until we hit this amount of reveals. And once we hit it, I'll give it away. And then I'm going to personally be moving on to a different Starbucks cup after that. But that's just one really cool way that you can use trackers, and why knowing your numbers and knowing things is helpful in your business.
Yeah, and doing it by reveals, it also helps with that profit margin, because then like Moni's not giving that cup away. Like if she did it by, say, the party, maybe the party was a dud and she only sold, maybe $100 worth that party. Well, if she sold $100 worth that party, that could be only a $20 profit on that party. Well, that cup itself was probably $15. Then to ship it is probably going to be almost $10. And now you're in the hole. And that's what we don't want. And so just make sure that you're keeping track of those expenses. You know what's going on, because we're here to make money. We're here to better our lives for one reason or another. And so just make sure that you're on top of that, because without keeping track, you can easily spend all of your profit. And all of a sudden, it's like all of a sudden you're way in the hole. And it's like, how did I even get here all of a sudden?
Yeah. And we don't want that for you.
We don't want that.
Yeah,
Not at all.
Yeah. And remember, that's a good point, Lee. Remember that Starbucks cup doesn't ship to that person, that winner, for free. I have to
No,
cover
it
that
doesn't.
too.
Yeah. Because even if they paid for shipping and it went in with an order, I mean, the Starbucks, like for example, Starbucks cups, they're bulky. You got to make sure that it's packaged right. So that's just, it's all, there's a lot of things to think of. And, feel free to pick your mentor's brain. If your team has a chat, go in there and be like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. I went in the other day to my mentor's first line chat and was like, guys, I'm going to change my brand. I want to be badass. I don't want to be mermaid no more. Mermaids are for little girls. I want to be the big girl. And so I was like, what do you guys think? And so I was able to just go in there. So even me at 3.5 years in, I still reach out to my my mentors, group chats, and to be like, hey, what do you guys think? Am I going off the deep end for changing my brand that I have, built, years in the making? So it's never too late. It's never a burden to message us. And I feel like I speak for all mentors when I say that. When they start team building, that's what we're here for. Then we're here to help you guys. And I know for our Team Bliss, we've got those chats going on. We've got the group. You can post questions in the group or the team chat. I've kind of seen them in both places. Either or, we're here to support you guys. But does anybody have any like questions? I know we've done a ton of talking tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're welcome to type chat questions in as well.
Yeah. And you know, I think the people who are here have been doing their business for a long time right now. There are newbies that may be watching this replay. And if you're watching
Yeah.
this replay, we want to say welcome. We're excited for you. You can make this a business where you have fun and you make money, but it is going to take effort on your part to communicate. It's going to take effort on your part to keep track of your money and the expenses. It's going to take effort on your part to show up and do the lives or do the events. If you want to know about vendor events, we can do a training about that. Our Lee here, we're very lucky. She has a lot of experience with vendor events, as well as I know there's other people in our Rise tribe that have a lot of experience. And we're just very excited to have you. Those of you who have been here a while and maybe you're thinking, you know what, I don't even know if I want to keep going. I don't even know this. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're watching this, because maybe you just need a restart. Because I will tell you, you are not alone in those feelings. Lee has been there. I have been there. It may not seem like that sometimes. You may, look at either one of us and think, oh, they never feel those things, but we do feel those things. And we have to talk to our mentors all the time when it comes to that. We have to talk to each other. And that leads me into, if you're new or you're not new, it's really good to connect with someone. Connect with someone in the tribe so that you can have a confidant and you can build each other up. But if just in touching on that topic, don't connect to just get into negative headspace together. That doesn't serve either one of you. If you tend to find yourself in a lot of communications where you're like, yeah, it just goes into a negative place. You may want to sit back and let's see, what are your goals? Maybe make an appointment. Let's make a goal tracker. At the end of the day, this business is only going to go into a positive direction if you build positive goals, if you build a positive mindset, if you build a positive attitude, if you build in a direction of positivity and not in a direction of negativity. It's all about like-minded, right? If you want to be a boss girl, you have to hang out with boss girl mindset people. And boss girl mindset is not something that just comes out of thin air. It's something that you have to work towards. And that's what we're here for. We're here to answer those concerns, here to answer those questions, here to give you the feedback. And if you're not ready for feedback, in maybe a conversation and you feel scared about it, our emails are always open. You can write it out in a long message and we will be happy to read the email and email you back charts, concerns, voice messages back and forth. You're not ready to do a video chat. Our messengers open, our voicemails are open. Send those voice texts. I know that it can be nerve-wracking sometimes talking about difficult topics, but it's okay to figure out a way to communicate about it. It's better to talk about it than it is to just, go into that negative place. You want to stay in a positive mindset and a positive circle and a positive tribe. And that's what we're here for. We're here to kind of create that community for you.
Yes. All right. So with that, I am going to stop the recording.